Okay, so we're here at the moringa patch. Not the moringa patch, I have a moringa patch. It's the cassava patch. So I had, about 6 cassava sticks that I was given. And I planted them all, and they all came up in varying degrees at the beginning of this year. And so we were eating cassava, a lot of cassava. And then from that, from the sticks that I got from that, I've planted 30. Don't do things by halves here. I've planted 30 cassavas, 30 of the sticks. And so, as I said earlier, I've got them in this section, and they seem to be growing really well. It's just like amazing how they've come up. So let's go into this area and I'll show you around. Okay, so it's been, how long has it been? It's been about, what are we now? It's been about 2.5 months, and this is 2.5 months growth, and it's just been amazing. And I decided, see, so we've got quite a lot here, and I planted a couple down here. I had put sweet potato here, but they weren't growing very well, and I was told recently that perhaps I had left them in for too long. So I just put the cassava here thinking, I didn't want to throw away the sticks, so let me just plant them here, and they're growing. So these are, I'm not going to keep planting cassava here. I want to grow some more fruit trees here. So once I've harvested these, I'll be taking this up. For this middle section, it's not really so defined as beds. What I really want to do, because there's quite a few trees here, I've got the moringa tree, I've got a neem tree growing here, I've even got some more papaya to plant out. So I'm trying to find, I haven't got any in this particular section, so I'm going to be planting some papaya here. I've got golden apple down here. See, the neem tree grows quite thick, so I really want this particular area to be as flat as possible. Just got the bags down to keep the weeds out, but some areas, like over here, I guess actually no, I've weeded this, didn't I? I was going to say, oh, but this area, the weeds don't grow, but it does. I've just been weeding it, but I don't want to have to do it. I want this to kind of be the last time. So I'm going to be covering the rest of this with the leaves, and that will keep the grasses down, and so I won't have to do that. And in this middle section as well, see, I've got 3 moringa. I mean, they were all planted at the same time, and they've all done very differently. But again, I want to kind of keep them, say, at this height, so I can reach, I can reach them. So what I was thinking, I don't just want to get rid of, this can be replanted. When you lob it off, it can be replanted. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to plant them at the front of the house. I don't mind if they grow a bit bigger over there. And where I haven't been able to harvest the moringa, I've just chopped and dropped. And it's just like, okay, well, you can provide more nutrients for the soil. Because some of so this is the tree that has bared a lot more pods, and you can see how big it is. And I'm thinking I might just allow this one to branch out and grow as it wants, but it does grow really big. So again, it defeats the purpose if you're not able to get up to the top. So I want to be able to utilize the tree as much as possible. So I haven't yet decided. Anyway, so we're on the other side of the cassava patch, and again, there's these grasses that kind of are very fine and a bit of a pain to they're not really a pain, but I'm gonna cover this with cardboard so that it can be like more of a walkway. And I don't know whether I want to be able to utilize it. I don't want just the I don't want the grass to grow all over it, and I don't want to have to keep, you know, because then you have to pay to get it cut and all of this. So I'm just gonna, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna mulch it. So I'm gonna have the leaves, and I'll just spread the leaves over this section, and then just have trees growing in this section. I don't really want to be able to have to dig up. So these will go, and this is the sweet potato patch. So if and when they're harvest, this then will go for some trees, and I will move these slips elsewhere, or put some slips elsewhere. So I've got some cactus growing, not cactus, sorry, aloes. I was given this, and I didn't think it would grow very well here, but it is. I've got another baby moringa growing, but I'm going to move that because I do have a moringa patch. So in the third bed, I've got another cassava patch going on, and I think I've got about 20 here. They're not doing as well, but I'm going to be mulching again with these with the leaves, because there is weeds growing in between, and I don't want that. Had I grown? I hadn't grown cassava in this particular spot, and maybe it's because it's not as rich in terms of nutrients. So once I address that, chop and drop, and the leaves from the mahogany tree, that'll be great. Here is my papaya patch. That's the lemon tree that's going to grow. I think my papaya leaves have got some sort of fungus on them, and I think I might have to remove the leaves because it seems to be spreading. Remove the leaves and just treat it. I've got some solution that I made up, a natural solution, and just soapy water. I did spray it last night, but it rained today. Again, this particular spot, there's not really defined beds, and I've gone and planted, you know, some of the spare cassava that I had, again not wanting to throw anything away. So once these have been lifted, what have I got here? I've got some long beans here that I planted. I harvested 2 long beans. No, I harvested 1 and we ate it. And one was growing really long. It was about 1.5 feet, and then it got eaten. The snails ate half of it and left it. And then there were seeds in it, so I've planted the seeds. So I should have. They kind of did me a favour, because now I'll be able to have some more growing. Hopefully they haven't eaten them. But it looks like it might be trying to resurrect itself. Yeah, I've got papaya growing there. And there's some, let's see if I can find it. There's another little, there's some more growing somewhere in there. Anyway, yeah, so as I said, this area, I want to again try and just grow trees in this area. I've got my mango, I've got another neem tree, got more papayas growing there, another mango here. So again, this area is going to be fruitful with fruit trees. If we look here, so this was one of the latest things that I've done. I wanted to create a moringa patch, so I've done that. I planted about 30 moringa, and literally just going to be, it's going to be a bit higher. I want it to be maybe as high as these river tamarind. I think these are river tamarind. Yeah. Because I want them to provide some windshield for the banana trees behind it. So I've just got to get these going. Again, they were all planted at the same time, and some of them have come up better than others, but these are still growing. And what you also find in between, again, is some of the grasses, but laying down some mulch should help. And then there's the other thing, that where the seeds from the river tamarind fell, they've got really, really deep roots. But I'm hoping that if I mulch it, they won't come back up. Yeah, so I'm providing just some walkways, and then this is going to be another patch which I've just covered for the moment, because I want to, you know, kill all the grass. This will all die down, and then I'll continue to add, you know, stuff so that it can be composted, you know, from the Mexican sunflower, and just provide a lot of nourishment. And my Mexican sunflower wall is doing really well. So it's supposed to go from the top all the way around the front of the garden, all the way along, but you know, they're taking, because of the quality of soil around the garden, they're all taking their own sweet time. But around the back, which is one of the main areas, let's walk up here, see my little path. I'm so pleased with this. I'm going to create, the path's supposed to go round, and it goes around that way, but I really like it. I didn't do the rocks there because the water will come and run down there when it rains and feed here. Yeah, so let's walk around here. See, these, because they grew and they've got stumps now, so it's really difficult to get rid of them, but I'm going to cover them. So yeah, the path is supposed to go around here, and what I want to do is kind of level this off and have like a bank, a proper bank, and have like stones and have plants, have additional plants growing along here. Yeah, so I want to be able to walk around the banana tree. Look, I've got some more bananas coming up. This is the second one that has fruited. These are green bananas, so you have to boil them, or I learnt you can fry them, and they'll be ready maybe next month. It would have been nice if, I think when they first started to come out, I should have provided it with quite a lot of water, because they take a lot of water. But I'm learning as I go along. So yeah, I want to be able to walk around this area. I can walk this bit I created in my moringa patch there, and you can go round this way and get to the other side of the bananas. Yeah, so just a little bit of work to kind of level it off, just take away the soil, so it's got a bit of a walkway so I can get there. Yeah, I'm just pleased with that. And this is the back of the cassava, and I've got some but something is troubling them. I've got some okra plants here. There's some okra coming off there. Okra is really nice if you pick them. There's a web. I found there's some red spiders. Oh yeah, and look, this is what's on the leaves. So I think it's a fungus that I need to deal with. Spray them with soapy water. Oops. Yeah, I was showing you the red spider. Let's see. Trying to find it now. The red spider against the red leaves. It's such a weird looking thing. Hold on. There it is. Well, it's difficult to see it. But I don't know whether they bite, and I don't really want them here in the garden. Okay, yeah, so that's the other side. Yeah, so this is my tropical paradise. I've got, and I'm gonna flash up the before, what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. And it's taken a while. It's taken effort. It's taken discipline to come out here and to work at least, a few hours each day. But it's been worth it. And one of the things, look at this, what I did with the Mexican sunflower. So this is all new growth. What I wanted is that to provide like a wall so that you can't see on the other side. Now there are some gaps. So what happens with the Mexican sunflower is the more that you cut it, it stimulates growth and it's providing the covering as needed. So, I mean, these will just grow and grow and grow. And so you keep cutting them, But, and then what I'm going to have to do is give it a kind of prune the top. Because as you can see with the winds, if they get too tall, they'll just break. But I want it to be not a proper wall, but I want them to be thicker. So just like this, you can't, if you're on the other side, you're not able to look through. There's my bird of paradise down there. So I've got some really nice colours. I've got the yellows. Look at that, the yellows of the bird of paradise, the yellows of the Mexican sunflower, the reds of the cassava. Then I've got this particular plant, I can't remember the name, I can flash it up. You've got the creamy yellowy white flowers, and I think it's the male flowers of the papaya that smell sweet, and I think that's what attracts the insects to the plant. So, but luckily for me, I've got about 8 female plants and 1 male along here. That's just amazing, isn't it? Then you've got as I said, the red of this particular plant, the tinged red leaves of the pomegranate, and lots of greenery. Lots of green. The scarvola, which is it's just behind this moringa tree, just here. It has white flowers. Let me see what else. Yeah, and with this, I didn't realise it was going to grow so big. Well, I didn't realise it was going to grow so quickly. See, I've got to cut all of these, all the leaves, and I've got really only about a 2-day window, so I have to really kind of get on with it, because the leaves will just die, and then once they die, they'll drop off from the branches, from this, yeah. And then I'll just have leaves all over the place. So I want to put them in place so they can just die and nourish the ground. Here I've got planting. So I was given this, and it seems to be establishing itself okay. I'll probably need to do some more mulching and get some of the green leaves from the elephant grass there. I'll just cut some of that back and put it down. And then this pile here, I don't like seeing this pile. Admittedly, it was only put there yesterday. So as I say, I've got to take some time and maybe I'm going to find a spot for the pallet, turn it upside down, and it can be utilised. And then it will rot down anyway. It can't be used now. I was using it as my bridge. So it can't be used now for that purpose. But I want to plant a couple of fruit trees here. I might even plant the guinea tree. No, if I plant the guinea tree here, that will attract the monkeys. So I'll plant the guinnep tree up there, and here I'll probably do another papaya patch. I think that's what I'll do here. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Oh, and I had some mushrooms growing. I think the ants have been eating them. And that's the guinnep. It's funny how some people want to decide for you what you should be growing. So I had somebody come over here, and they started picking the weeds, which is fine, but then they started picking things that they believe is weeds and that I'm growing because I like it. And so it's just like, no, you know, okay, it's one thing using your initiative to, help pick certain things, but I haven't asked you to pick that. So, so the mushrooms, they were going to take out the mushrooms, and it's just like, I don't even know if they're edible. If they're edible, it's something that the family can eat. Oh, what have we got growing down there? Oh, nothing. There was I've got some clamacherry tree seeds there. I'm going to move those because they put down really serious roots, and it only has to get to about 6 inches, and you're not going to get that out. So I'm going to be planting those at the front again because they're plants that are going to grow, and it's nice to have more greenery. And I'm thinking over this section to have like another mini nursery of I've got some of the ferns growing out here because this is quite shaded. So I just thought that this area would look beautiful with the ferns and the scarvola. And this is the start of my riverbed. The river comes gushing down here in a heavy rainfall, comes rushing down here. So I want to kind of establish some plants that will keep the soil structure, and I'll have to put some rocks there as well. And as you can see, the mahogany, the fungus which is on there. So I don't know if I chop it up and put it round the property, will it spread to other things? So I just need to be mindful of that. And so we're back to this area, and as I've done in other places, I've planted, like this particular area, I just want to see ferns. I've got the broadleaf thyme growing. This is the clamacherry tree. I didn't do anything with it this year with the fruiting, but I will next year. I just didn't have time. I've got my moringa tree growing there, but I just need to, this is all like composted material, but I want to grow some fruit trees along here. I thought to myself, this area specifically has had a lot of, look, there's some clamacherries there. Started already. I've been cutting it back quite a bit. Yeah, so I just want fruit trees, like on this particular bit, I want a couple of fruit trees here. And I've got some neem trees. I'll probably have to thin these again because each one is a tree, and I've got 5 there. 6. Ooh, very breezy. We're going to have some more rain. Yep, so we've come full circle. Look at those beauties. Look at those beauties popping out there. That's the papaya. So I have to wait before they're picked. Yeah, so I want a space that you can come, you're not overlooked by the road. At the moment, that even though the neighbours has got that wall, when people walk along, they can see over here. So I'll be able to fix that once I've got my hedges growing. And that you can just come out here, relax. You can lift your hand up and pick something to eat. So having things out here that, you know, are edible and easy, like you don't have to cook as well, is really great. At the moment, it's just the as I say, I'm looking at the okra. At the moment, it's just the okra that you can do that with. What else have I done that with? I mean, you can eat the moringa. It's quite bitter. It's bitter. It's got a strong flavour. This is a plant that was rescued. I'm just hoping it revives. It looks like it's reviving itself. It's transplant shock. So I need to put down some of the Mexican sunflowers so that it can get some food. Look at these snails. Garden pests, so we'll get rid of that. Just dropped on the floor. So I've got lots of work to do. And I've still got to sort out these tyres, but now I've got some more leaves and stuff I can put in them. It's great. I've got to cut, as I said, I've got to cut this back, so I have more and more stuff to put in them. And the things have just been dying down because a lot of them were filled, and it's just dying down really quickly. So it's like, what I'm finding is that, I don't know, what I'm putting in there is the paddle plants, because I don't want to put food stuff in there, because what you don't want and what we're not sure of is what will leach from the tyres into the soil. So as I say, I don't want to take that risk, so I'm only putting stuff that is a non-food. So things like, broadleaf thyme, I wouldn't, whilst I use broadleaf thyme in the cooking, I wouldn't harvest it from this particular spot to use. This would just be for decoration. So so that's it. That's my garden update. Sorry if it was too long, but I wanted to give you, you haven't seen everything, but there's a limit to how much you'd want to sit down and watch. Oh, the other thing that I'm having a problem with is my frangipani. The frangipani tree is just there, and it's also got some sort of fungus going on the stem. I cut these before I seem to notice it, and what I've noticed with some of the other branches is that they're getting like some sort of black spot where the leaves are at the ends. So I'll just have to monitor that. What I decided to do was cut it back quite a bit and then take it from there, allow it to there we go. I've been cutting back, but what I want to do is cut it back even more and see what I can do in terms of nourishing the plant. Okay, so where haven't you else seen? You've seen the nursery. Nothing's in there at the moment because I brought everything out that's grown that needs to be put in the soil. And so what I'll be doing in there is nourishing the soil that's left in there and preparing it for new seeds. I want to grow some sunflowers. I like sunflower seeds. So I want to be growing some sunflowers and some small plants that are decorative, flowers in the garden attracting the bees. And as I say, I've got loads of other things to transplant. I guess I've probably got enough plants here that I wouldn't even need to plant anything else. But it's nice to have different plants growing and more food that you can harvest in the garden. But as I say, I need to getting everything to a place where it's nourished, it's providing nourishment, and you can keep the pests down. So having the lemongrass growing in more than one place you know, helps with the pests, helps with the mosquitoes, and the basil as well. Oh, they're fighting. Yeah, and I just need to neaten this up anyway. And then I've got some DIY chores to do. So I've got the fence, temporary fence to sort out so that the dog can't get over into the food production area. It's a wonder that he hasn't learned that he can just push this down. Anyway, but it got pushed down a bit more when the guy was cutting the tree. See this big old branch there that I've got to move. And then this makeshift area here. It was just like, I got so tired that day when I was doing it. I was just like, oh, I can't do anymore. Let me just put this there and hope that he doesn't realise he can jump over it. But he has realised he can jump over it. And he does do that from time to time. Yeah, so there's so much work to be done. And just got to get on with doing it. I'm enjoying it. And it's my new walkway. I mean, doing the, oh no, is that where it went? This is the that was the hummingbird nest. Doesn't look like there's anything in it. No, there's nothing in it, thankfully. Hopefully it just grew up and... But I saw the hummingbird flying around it yesterday. Maybe it was building the nest. But, yeah. And I told the guy not to cut that particular branch. Anyway, it's done. It's done now. Just got to... having other trees around the garden, which you can allow, you know, some of the birds to make their nests in. And several birds have made their nest in here in this tree. So it's been great having them here and hearing their tweeting in the mornings. So hopefully, as it grows back, they'll be able to find their home. And let's see. Just waiting. Cole, what are you doing? Just relaxing. Good boy. Hey, good boy. It's like, who are you talking to? You talking to me? You talking to me? Okay, yeah, so lots of DIY chores that I've got to do around here. I've got to fix this, and now I've got this extra piece. I can secure it a bit better. And I really wanted there to be a door, so I've got some wood underneath the house, so like a little gate. I'm going to create a little gate, say here, this particular spot, and then, or maybe here, maybe in this particular spot. I can move this quite easily. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Tidy all of this up. And then I really want the stepping stone, so I need to get some concrete and make them. And yeah, it's cool. I harvested some okra yesterday. We had it in the dinner. It's delicious. Delicious. Okay, so thank you for visiting. Come back for another update. I will be updating some of the plants individually for you to see. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing. The only way to really, you know, grow is to learn as much as you can, discipline yourself, stretch yourself, and step out of your comfort zone. That's what you have to do. I'm totally out of my comfort zone in terms of the garden, in a tropical garden, and but I'm being rewarded for the hard work. I mean, look at the flowers in bloom, you know, with the Mexican sunflower. If you see the other side, which is where the farmer is, there's some, because I haven't cut it, the flowers have just been growing. but you know, they're growing and providing us with colour and just beauty. Look at that. Well, apart from that. But this will provide us with beauty, because I'll be using the wood around the garden, and using the leaves on the composting, and so that'll be gone in no time. Yeah. Okay. So, and I need to get it done before the end of the week. So I'll have to. Oh gosh, because the grass is going to be cut. Actually, I might put it off for another week, let it grow a bit more, and then I can utilise it a bit better in the beds. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, so take care for now. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for leaving your comments, and any tips, hints and tips that you've got. It's all gratefully received. Take care for now. Bye.